Hi guys, so my name is Nicole, licensed clinician, and we are talking about the definition, essentially, of trauma bonding. So we've talked through some types of abuse that can lend itself more often to trauma bonding and also the stages of trauma bonding. Now let's talk about some risk factors for trauma bonding. So like, why does it happen, right? And ultimately, at the root of it, the bond forms out of the basic human need for attachment as a means of survival. And so we see this often in situations like if you had an abusive childhood, you literally cannot leave, right? Because you are completely dependent on the parent, and you don't really know that the parent-child relationship isn't supposed to be like that. And so this is just what you get, and you kind of learn how to like survive through it. So I think that wasn't really on the list of things that lend itself more to trauma bonding, but I do think that that's a really important factor and oversight, and especially if that was your experience and then you go on as an adult to get involved in abusive relationships, that can also put you at higher risk for trauma bonding. So they do mention that on the website that I'm looking at, verywellmind.com/trauma-bonding-5207136. Things that make people more susceptible to trauma bonding in abusive relationships are attachment insecurity, childhood maltreatment, like I just said, exposure to abusive relationships growing up. So even if like you saw your parents in an abusive relationship with each other, and maybe you weren't on the receiving end of that, or, it doesn't have to necessarily even be your parents. It can be like a sibling or friends or whatever. Also, lack of social support and low self-esteem. And so this is, I think, important to note that like the abuse itself will lower your self-esteem and will also reduce your social supports. But prior to the abusive relationship and prior to the trauma bonding, you maybe already have a lack of social support and a lower self-esteem that makes you more likely to clamp on to the good times that you're getting from this abusive person. So the impact of trauma bonding is, I think, something that we're going to talk about in the next video.